So we showed you this story. Russians' 2016 influence operation targeted African Americans on social media. So we covered the story already, and all we did was read it, and I go, this is the biggest bullshit story I've ever read. Well, close. The Guardian story by Luke Harding was the biggest. This would be the sec. So this is so funny that even Chris Hayes made fun of it, right? Because in it, they're saying these are the memes that the Russians did. Russians influenced operation targeted African Americans. Here's one of them. Struggling with the addiction to masturbation. Reach out to me and we will beat it together. These are jokes. These aren't really. So even he makes fun of it, Chris Hayes, right?
Your masturbation pun is good, but I have better.
And I showed you that that here's the Google CEO at congressional testimony saying that they did an investigation to how much money Russia spent on Google platforms to influence the election, and they came up with the number $4,700. $4,700.
Platforms were exploited by Russian actors in the election 2 years ago?
We have, we undertook a very thorough investigation, and in 2016, we now know that there were two main ad accounts linked to Russia, which advertised on Google for about $4,700 in advertising. We also found other limited.
Total of $4,700?
That's right.
Whew. How do you win an election? All it takes is $4,700.
Even he's saying it he's like, that's right. This is some of my employees pay more than that in rent. This is a total waste of my time. I don't want to be here.
If you sell a used Taurus, you could probably overthrow an American election. But the facts don't matter. Here's Jake Tapper. He takes that article and he tweets it out. The voter suppression effort was focused particularly on Sanders supporters and African Americans, urging them to shun Mrs. Clinton in the general election and either vote for Mrs. Stein or Ms. Stein or stay home. He tweets out this article uncritically. This article is a joke. This article is a joke. Robbie Mook retweets Jake Tapper. Robbie Mook, who was helping run the Hillary Clinton campaign. Robbie Mook says, beware, Russian operatives will try to divide Democrats again in the 2020 primary, making activists unwitting accomplices. 2020 resolutions, think before you like or share. It might be foreign propaganda, not news. So that's Robbie Mook revealing himself to be a fucking piece of shit. He's sowing division and discord. He's red baiting Americans. He's doing that. Not Russia. Him. After he fucking cheated Bernie Sanders. And he's still doing it 2 years later. The gutless, feckless piece of shit that he is. Robbie Mook. And you want to know where that goddamn thing comes from? Where does the New York Times get what's their source on this? Their source is active and ongoing interference operations remain on several platforms, says the report, produced by New Knowledge, a cybersecurity company based in Austin, Texas. And I remember saying, who the F is New Knowledge? Who the hell are they? Mm-hmm. Bunch of people I never heard of. I don't know. Well, Ben Norton did a little sleuthing. He found out the breaking New York Times report blaming Russia for working-class people not liking neoliberal capitalist Hillary Clinton is based on a report by a bogus cybersecurity company, New Knowledge, which is run by U.S. government flacks who spread conspiracy theories blaming Putin for protests. So the whole New York Times story is based on this bogus cybersecurity firm. And who are they? Here they are. Here's two of the guys. Here's the one guy. There's New Knowledge. There it is right there. It's from their webpage. Jonathan Morgan, he's the CEO. Jonathan has spent the past 12 years building new technologies and digital products. He's also published research with the Brookings Institution, served as a special advisor to the State Department. And who's his other butt? Who's the guy next to him? The COO and co-founder. It's Ryan Fox. He spent 15 years at the NSA. He's a champion next-generation signet solutions driven to support national security interests. Prior to his civilian roles as a counterterrorism fellow and NSA representative, European signet partners, he served under the U.S. Joint Special Operations Commands and a CNO analyst for the U.S. Army. That's who prepared this report. You want to know one more? Here's one more. Here's Renee DeResta. She's the director of their research. She looks like a nice person. She doesn't look like a con artist who wants to spread propaganda. She has served as an advisor to the State Department, Congress, and other state and federal government institutions. But here's what that's what this is based on. Surprising to my panel?
So is this the same organization that was trying to say Black Lives Matter was
Yes.
influenced by Russia and Apple was influenced?
I don't know if it's the same organization. This seems to be like a new report.
Oh, okay.
This is new, but it's based on the same data.
It's based on the
so that
same
was
type
another
of-
report. Now they're just basically saying, but they're saying Bernie Sanders supporters and Black Lives, anybody who voted Jill Stein or Liberty or who didn't vote even, you were manipulated not to vote. It's not because the parties suck. It's not because Hillary Clinton wasn't offering you anything. It's not because they didn't have a populist agenda. It's not because the Democrats weren't popular. It's because they got people got tricked by Russia to stay home and not vote.
That's right. I mean, we always have high voter turnout here, so it was really weird.
Isn't this is the New York Times? The New York Times. Even Chris Hayes makes fun of it. I showed you $4,700 that they spent on Google. Jake Tapper can't wait to tweet that out because he's a garbage journalist himself. Robbie Mook, who's one of the biggest propagandists ever, gaslighting propagandist. Is he going to lose his Facebook page?
Did you see the thread from that, though?
No, I did not. Did you see the thread from that?
I did look at the thread
And?
from that tweet. Oh, it's pretty epic. It's very interesting what happens to Robbie Mook when Correct the Record isn't there to even out the
Oh, really?
perspectives.
What
Oh,
happened?
yeah. Oh, it's great. I mean, there's all
What?
kinds of people weigh in on it.
But like what? What happened?
Well, people aren't on his side about
Oh,
it. I mean,
people-
it was all it was like almost 99% opposition.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So there you have it. Another completely overamped, bogus RussiaGate story now says progressives and African Americans can't think for themselves unless they voted for Hillary. Then they thought for themselves. And it's completely debunked. Where does it come from? It comes from these two guys who worked for spook organizations. Two guys embedded in government. Two guys from that. It's unbelievable. Well, actually, it's very believable. And it's gotten so bad, all this RussiaGate stuff, that even Nate Silver is starting to see through it. That's our next video. Our next live Jimmy Dore show is February 1st in Burbank, California. Go to jimmydorcomedy.com for a list of all our live shows, and please become a premium member if you can. Become a patron. It's the way we support this show because they're coming at us, and we give you bonus. We give you hours of bonus material every week. Check it out. Become a patron. And if you can, make sure you're still subscribed. They unsubscribe people every day. I know it sounds crazy. It only takes a second. Please make sure and click that bell when you subscribe so they'll send you a notice